Wow, look at this. Bitcoin's tanking again. Where is it heading to? So it's basically testing the lows again. Look at this Bitcoin right here, right at this 93 area. Remember, guys, I was saying just about 2 days ago that it's going to retest its lows. This is a situation that we call refill the wick. So here was the wick, right? That big crash on Thursday and then, Friday. And then they brought it back with the PCE numbers. And then here is that wick, and we refill that wick. Usually we get some sort of pattern like this, right? Oh, by the way, I'm just going to explain this whole situation with Bitcoin and Ethereum today, and then talk about one or two altcoins that I think we can get into in a situation in a market like this today. This is actually a really important episode because I think the nature of the market has changed, right? I think you really need to be aware of what's going on right here, right? Let's just dive straight into it. So this is refilling the wick. Where does it stop? Eventually, like 80 to 83 is quite possible. But for the next couple of days, I think a refill the wick situation usually means we're bouncing somewhere near the lows, which is 92. It could be at 93 and bounce, or come to 91, 90, and then bounce. So it's something like that, right? Up to like say maybe even 100, touch 100 or something, and then come back and we go sideways again, and then see how we go from there. So I don't think we're too far away from a bounce. Probably something like we're at 93 right now. So probably something like 92, 91, 90 area, right? Retesting the lows here, refill the wick, and we bounce. The reason why I say this is because we're going to have a look at in the past when Bitcoin has done this whole test to fill the wick thing. So here's a very similar situation. This is in 2021, also after a big run to around 57, 58K. Look at this. Big drop, right? Similar to the situation we have right now. There's a wick there, and then it just keeps on going lower to the wick low was at 44.8, and eventually it went to about 43. So just 1.8K lower, and then boom, it bounces. Sometimes it doesn't even get to fill the whole wick. Give you another example. So here was the big drop to 30K. To hit 30K, and then basically see how it comes close to 31, and it bounces. The worst it got was come to 28.5, and then it bounces. So the situation, that's what I'm saying. Historically, when you're filling the wick like we're doing right now, I don't expect it to be too far away from where the previous low was, which was around 92K area. So we could stop about 93, but anywhere between 91 to 93, maybe even 90K, and then bounce. But after we bounce up, we mess around and then come down. I can't rule out, it getting stopped at 80 to 83K area and then bounce up and continue the bull market. So why am I talking like this? If you've been watching the last couple of episodes of Pablo's videos, you will know that I've been talking about playing defense, right? At least we're half defense, half offense, because right now we're not in a crazy bull market like we were in the last 2 months, right? The last 2 months since start of November has just been a crazy bull run. It's been like, it's been a crazy 50 days so far, 50 days or so. So right now, I think the nature of the market has changed. And because the nature of the market has changed, we're now in more uncertain territory. So there's going to be a lot of swings. I don't think it's continuing straight up forever. We'll make a new all-time high, I think, later on. But I'll show you why I'm thinking a bigger pullback or a longer pullback is going to happen. Usually two type of things could happen here. You either get basically a pullback by price, like Bitcoin goes to 80K, even 75K, a big pullback by price. Or if Bitcoin doesn't do that, swings between 100 to 90, say 92, 91, back to 100, or it's called pullback by time. And then you're not pulling back lower by price, you're just pulling back a little bit, like 10, 15%, but you go sideways for a long time, like 3 months, 4 months, people get bored with it. That's called pullback by time. You have either pullback by price or pullback by time. Why am I talking like this. That's because I've noticed a change in structure in both Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that means both Bitcoin and altcoins are about to go through what I think is a pullback, a real pullback, like a pullback by price or a pullback by time. I'll show you guys why I'm saying this. So for example, first of all, this is Ethereum net taker volume. So look at this. So net taker volume basically means that people are taking that price. They're not, when they're selling, they're not placing a offer price of say $4,000 for Ethereum. They're just looking at what's on the market right now, 3,900. I'll hit that. I'm taking that price. I'm the taker, right? That means they're in a hurry to sell. And when the net means they can be in a hurry to buy, like the green, or they're in a hurry to sell. Last time, look at the couple of times, right? They were in a hurry to sell. This big red, net taker volume here, that marked the big top in Ethereum price, and that was in about May of 2021. This time also marked a kind of a local top. ETH didn't pull back that much, right? But it was still, not a bad signal if you're a short-term trader. This time, again, marked the all-time high, right? All-time high of ETH at 4,800. And then this green volume kind of marked the bottom of around $1,000 or $890. That was the bottom of this bear market for Ethereum. And then look at this one. This one was March earlier this year, and that marked the top for Ethereum, and then Ethereum went sideways from like 3,800, almost 4,000, down like to 2,200. That was a big 45% pullback. And look at this. Now, a few days ago, this chart is like about 4 or 5 days old. A few days ago, we've just had this massive taker volume. Now, retail can't do this. That's obviously done by pros and whales, Ethereum whales. Like the Ethereum Foundation's co-founder, what's his name? Jeffrey Wiki. Everyone knows Vitalik Buterin, but Jeffrey Wiki is also one of them. He's also a founder. He's made this, sold 70 mil. A lot of other people whales have sold. So I'm looking for, well, that's why I said there will be a triple top in Ethereum, but I should have seen this chart earlier, or else I would have gone, a flush down to 3,100 is totally within range. Even 2,800 Ethereum is totally possible as well, considering how big this signal is. At the time, I thought 3,500, so I didn't anticipate the magnitude of this entire run. So that was me getting too busy in the bull market. You're trading NFTs, you're trading ordinals, you're trading AI agents. So okay, I'll tell you guys more, and we're going to talk about a few altcoins as well, and I'm going to tell you how to deal with this type of market. How do we deal with this type of market? Do we play more defense, more offense? What do we do? But before we get onto there, that's answer the question of which exchange does Pablo use? Pablo uses a non-KYC crypto exchange. Non-KYC means you don't have to show your ID. That means the government, other companies, a tax office, the IRS, nobody knows that you're using this exchange, right? And Americans can use it. Yes, Americans can use it because they don't ask you for ID. They don't even know you're American, right? And your IRS or your tax officer, FBI, CIA, nobody can see your government. Nobody can see you using it. That's why Pablo loves this. And just for now, basically, the exchange is doing a big deal with Pablo right now. This is Pablo's link. And just for another 4 days, 4 days only left, deposit $100 US, get $20 futures bonus, deposit $1,000, get $200 futures bonus. Basically, click that white little bit here, and here's the sign up. 5,500 USDT of bonuses. If you're on YouTube watching this, then it's in the description, in the link in the description right below you, or on any other social media platform. Just go to my page, and there's a stand link. Click on Pablo He-Man, and it comes up. It's basically the first one there, right there. See, because it's a big deal. I really like it. I know the people who work there, so check it out, guys. Okay, now let's get back to Ethereum. So, for example, Ethereum also is doing the fill in the wick, as I've been telling you guys, and so it's basically we can see it stop anywhere between 3,190. That's a big support area there, or it can take 2 or 3 more days and do this, like get to just below just around 3,000 and then bounce, then do a big bounce, right? So those are the two scenarios I'm looking for, but I told you guys it was going to refuel the wick. You've seen it in my last video. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you look at the weekly chart, that's kind of an ugly bar. So that means that stopped the momentum of the ETH breaking up to 4,500, 5,000. I think you can get there eventually, but now we just have to play the market we just have to play the poker hand as it's been dealt to us. And right now it's basically like, pulled back quite a lot. That's a solid red bar. So we're expecting more, I guess, either pull back by price, which means it can go as low as 2,800, right? And then bounce, or pull back by time, which means so we probably get stuck between this 3,600 to 3,100 area, 3,200 area. We'll probably bounce in between here, but it'll take a while, like say maybe Feb or March, and then we break through. Maybe early Feb, Trump might come in and surprise us with a few things, and then up we go. So either pull back by price or pull back by time. And another chart I wanted to show you guys is this one. So for example, this is the Bitcoin long-term holders net position change over 30 days. And it's not as accurate as the Ethereum one, but also it does show us kind of what's going on. So long-term holders, in the green is when they're buying, in the red is when they're selling. And they sold a lot here. This was when Bitcoin hit like 40K in January 2021, right? They sold early, but it wasn't terrible because Bitcoin then 3 months later topped. So they were early by 3 months. And then they bought around July and August. They bought a lot. And that was the bottom around 30K, 28K, and then ran to 69K. They did not sell the top here. So they don't get it right all the time either, the long-term holders. Now, let's have a look. Well, he down the bottom. They sold the bottom rather than buying. Well, a little bit of buying here. So, but look at this. In March, right? This March at 73K, and then Bitcoin went to like 49K. They sold this top. So they timed this one perfectly. Now, keep in mind this. Keep in mind. The drop to 49K was due to Japan. The Japanese yen carry trade blew up. That's why Bitcoin went to 49K. Realistically, probably Bitcoin would have gotten stopped in the 50s. Okay, doesn't matter. Let's move on. Here is them buying again, and they bought the long-term holders around that 50s, 55K, 50s, low 50s area. Again, well-timed, and they've doubled their money. So once they've doubled their money, they're dumping. So that's another signal there. So here you got to ask yourself, is Bitcoin going to basically go into this sideways, swinging, kind of wild swinging period between, say, 110 to, say, 80, right, in that range? Kind of like what happened here, right? See this, that signal? Or are these Bitcoin long-term holders too early? Like here, they sold, but they only sold kind of like halfway or 60% way up the incline, the bull run, and they missed out the last 3 months of the Bitcoin bull run. So I don't think it's a signal that we can ignore, but however, it's not 100% accurate. I don't think any signal is 100% accurate. Don't take it for granted that it's going to be 100%. Okay, one more we're going to look at. So this one is the long-term holders versus the short-term holders. So who's been selling? In a market, you got to have sellers and you got to have buyers. Who's been selling? Well, the sellers are the long-term holders. They sold 734,000 Bitcoins, right? 750,000 Bitcoins. Who's been buying? Well, MicroStrategy bought 171K. Then the Wall Street ETFs bought 76K, let's call it. Then the short-term holders, the people who come in later, right? They bought something like 500K of Bitcoin. And that started around November. This started when Bitcoin took off from around 65K to 108K up till now. So the smart money, long-term holders have been selling. The short-term holders, right, the people who basically FOMO in, they've bought a lot of Bitcoin recently. So that's not a good sign either. And see how here they were doing the buying. The heavy buying was from the long-term holders around September. They didn't get the pickle bottom, which was around August the 5th. That's when Bitcoin crashed to 49K. So as I say, these long-term holders, they don't get it exactly right, but they are certainly a signal you can't ignore. They bought in late September, and they've been selling when Bitcoin got to 80, 90K, 100K. So keeping that in mind, so that's why I say that right now I think the market has changed. We're in a different situation now. And in that case, I would say, like I said in my last video, and like I've been saying in my Discord, and if you're watching this video, then you know, I put this out to my Discord usually like half a day earlier, and then the rest of the world gets it half a day later. Right now is only like Monday in US morning, New York trading time. So for the right now, because the situation we're in, we're either going to pull back by price or pull back by time. So I'm not expecting big new all-time highs. We could get lucky and Bitcoin can go to like 111 or 112, only beat the 108K all-time high by like a little bit and then pull back. So I'm still expecting a lot of chop, even if we get up above 108K, right? In that case, I would say we play, like I said in my last episode, and like I've been saying in my Discord, that's play a lot more defense, right? We can still buy coins, but make sure at least 50% of your game or more, 50, 60, 70% of your game is defense. Defense and offense. 50-50, 60-40, right? At least 50% is got to be defense. What I mean by that? Okay, let me show you guys. So we'll pick a popular coin, for example. This is Sui, right? SUI, a layer 1 created by Facebook. And it's getting a lot of adoption, and there's no reason why Wall Street won't participate in this. When BlackRock and Fidelity, you know, put their tokenization projects, Buildo, for example, on 5 chains, they usually put one of them on Sui and one on Aptos, because this is built by Facebook. And since they're Wall Street, they trust Facebook because that's one of the Magnificent 7 stocks. Okay, so for example, with Sui, we still think he's bullish. We want to buy the pullback. One place to look for is this rising trend line, right? And that would have been, look how it hit there almost exactly. That's kind of a no-brainer, since even if we just drew that chart before that drop happened, we would have still had to, right, draw this trend line. This is still the most obvious choice for a trend line. When it got here, it bounced exactly off the trend line. So naturally, we would think the trend line would get tested again. That would be around $3, let's say $3.70 to $3.65 area. Boom, another bounce. Now, because we're in a pullback by time or a pullback by price situation, then I would say it is more than likely this line gets broken and we retest this $3.12, $3.10 area, maybe even as low as $2.95. So I would place a buy order here. And it's already, look, the high was around $4.90, almost $5. A pullback to $3, $3.10, $2.90 is already a 40% pullback, right? Because this is a log chart. That's already a pretty decent pullback. And then what's another one what's another level? Another level would be something like 269 or let's call it 270 area. And then obviously another one, this will be a crucial one, is because it's the 0.382 on the Fibonacci, which is $2.16, right? And you can see this $2.16 also is an old high, and it kind of formed old highs here. So $2.16, if we have a massive crash, if we have like a panic crash, one of those where the price just wicks down and you want to get lucky, you want to put in a stink bid meaning like you put it at a low ball bid where you never think it's going to get hit, but because it's crypto, it's so risky, sometimes it does get hit. So 216, let's call it 220, 230, just to be safe if you want to get lucky, right? And then if we get a bounce to, like we did on Saturday, to the all-time high of 490, then sell some, play defense. That's what I would do. Take shave some off. 10%, 20%, 30%. Unless you really believe, Sui is going to go up another 10x, 5x from here, which is possible. But if you're that bullish, okay, hold on. It's up to you. For the guys who want to short, obviously, see that level, right? That was the old high. That was an obvious level to short. For the guys who want to buy, right? That level was an obvious level to buy. Buy the support, sell the resistance, right? You're playing offense and defense at the same time. And keep some position if you are very bullish and let it run up. Keep 50%, 60%, 40%, whatever the number is. Okay, so the situation is very much in flux right now. There's a very complicated market right now. The nature of the market has changed, right? I'll keep you guys all updated. So follow Pablo closely. Thank you.